Okay, you have a virtual box, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you can use your virtual box and you have Kali install on it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so what we will do is in the next class, we will configure it. So if you already have Kali, I'll give you some operating system, some operating system. So there only, I mean, using that operating system only we will practice. Okay. So
Okay.
do you have Metasploitable 2 installed?
Yes. I believe I do have
Okay,
that
so you
exploit.
have Metasploitable 2
Yes.
also. And
Uh-huh.
apart from that, we need to build our Active Directory environment also. Okay, so in Active Directory environment, we will be needing one. You can download, I'll just make a note here. You download Windows Server 2019. One is Windows Server 2019. The other is your Windows. You can download Windows 10, and then you need to download Windows 7. Yeah, you have to, yes, you can configure, and then you can install these three different operating system in VirtualBox, and just don't do the configuration part. Okay, I'll help
Okay.
you with the configuration of this three operating system, but make sure that Windows 10, try to, not, I mean, try to get it to like two different Windows 10 in VirtualBox.
Different ones. Okay. I currently have a Windows 11 right now.
That's
Virtual.
fine.
Would that
Yeah,
work?
that's
Okay.
okay. You have Windows 11, right?
I do.
Okay, so we can use Windows 11 also, but I think we should go with Windows 10
10.
for a
Okay.
demonstration purpose, because some of the patches uh, will be missing from Windows 10, and which will help us to exploit that machine or find misconfiguration. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so these are the three different operating system which we need to install for Active Directory assessment. Okay. Now, coming to the uh, Linux. Okay. Now, Linux, as you are aware of, you know the commands. Okay, you know the commands, and then you know how to, go from one directory or move from one directory to other directory. So there are, different commands in Linux, and those will be very helpful when you will be, when you will be preparing yourself for OSCP, and that will add a value to it. Okay, because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to come across creating word list. Now let's take an example that you have a website. Okay, now you are performing reconnaissance, and then you come across a website where you can get, or you have to create your own word list from that website. Okay, because you never know, sometimes the password or the username might exist in the website itself, right, in the phase of reconnaissance. Now you need to create, or you need to get some, words from that website. Now manually going through it will take a lot of time, right? So what you can do is you can use Linux, in I mean, you can use Linux in such a way that you can extract, you know the usernames, I mean, possible usernames or possible passwords from that website. So Linux helps us in, different ways. So now understanding the file structure of Linux, which is very important. So you need to understand the file structure. Yeah. So the first is, I'm pretty sure you might, I mean, you must be knowing is the root directory, right? Or else let me also just uh, open my workstation. Okay, so the first is root directory. So the root directory is a top level directory in Linux file system. Okay, so I mean, the privilege of root is everything. I mean, once you get the root directory, the game is over. Okay, because root directory consists all the administrative rights, okay, of that particular operating system, right? I mean, usually in Linux, we have different, I mean, different user, but once you get the access of root directory, that means you have already own that machine. Okay, so just a quick recap, I would say, or so that things will be more easier for you. So this is what root directory is. Okay, so here you might be having other user also. So if you can see here, this is a user Kali. Okay, so I have just switched myself to this user, and anytime if you want to move to root, you can just simply write su root, and then you'll be in the root directory. So the root directory consists of everything. Okay, the root directory consists of everything. I mean, whatever uh, you know whatever directory is there in Linux operating system, that means you will have access to all that directories if you get an access to root directory. Okay, so usually in OSCP or in any CTF, the main objective or the main end goal will be getting an access of a root directory, because if you get an access of root directory, from there you can start navigating to each and every different files and folders. Okay, so this is a root directory. Now the next thing, which is your bin. So bin is what it, it is a directory where it contains essential binary executable for all users. Like we have different commands. For an example, see, to change the directory, we use cd. To list out the files and folders or directories in Linux, we use ls. If you have to copy the file, we use cp. If you have to move the file, we use mv. So all these executable, you know uh, binaries will be all stored in this bin folder. So if we say here, let's say, so we are into a bin folder. If I write ls, then you'll get to see all the command. So if you see here, these are all command which is a binary executable, and this is for all user. So it's not that it has any restriction. It can be used for any user. For an example, let's say if there are 10 different user in Linux, so that means they all can use it. Okay, so this has access. I mean, uh, this folder is accessible to everyone. So see, these are the commands. Okay, I mean, there are n numbers of command which is used in Linux, right? So these are all command which comes under binary. Any doubt? Any question here?
I had a question about how to get root. It looks like you did a super user command, then root. I
Mm,
tried to do it on mine, but it didn't let me log into it that way. I was just
come
wondering.
what was that? What was that? Can you please come again?
Yes, switch your user from a regular, Kali username
Uh-huh.
to root.
Uh-huh.
Um, I did the command su and then root,
Okay.
and then I put my password in. It's asking for,
Okay.
but it's
So,
saying it's failed authentication.
okay. So, okay. So, did you create a root user on your Kali machine?
I don't know if I did or not. Probably what the problem is.
Okay. So,
Might not have.
okay. So you just need to write. Let's say you create a user. Okay. So let's say I'm creating a user, add user, and let's say I'm creating let's say John. Okay. So now it will ask for a new password. So let's give a password here, a very simple password. So now, so I have created a new user called John. Okay. So now the next thing is I just need to, switch the user. So I'll write su, and then I'll write John here, enter. So now if you can see here, I'm into John.
Hey, John. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I just need to
Now,
get root on my
yeah.
computer then. Okay, on my Kali.
So first you need to create a user. Okay. Now, for an example, let's say I want to, move back to root. So I can write here su root and then password of my root, and then I'm back to root. Okay. Now make sure that when you get an access. For an example, let's say you're using Kali, and you need to create a root user, because by default Kali does not by default Kali does not have a root user. Because
Oh, I
what
see.
What Kali says is, there are things which which we should not be using a root user directly, because that is also a that is also not a good security practice.
Right.
Okay. So if any point of time, if you want to create a root user, you can just simply write sudo and then password and then root. So you just need to write sudo password root, press enter. It will ask for a new password, or the existing password. Like for me, it's asking for a new password, but for you, it might ask for an old password. For Kali, it's Kali only. And then it will ask for a new password. You can create your password, let's say tour, whatever it is. And then after that, once you restart your machine, uh, in the login page, instead of Kali, you can write root and then whatever the password is. Okay.
Okay. And what
So
passwords? Okay.
yeah, so in this way, you can create a root user. So usually, it's not a good practice, but I have a habit of doing it. So by using a root, because if at times, Nmap also asks for a root use. For a pseudo privilege, right? There are few commands which we cannot execute directly in Nmap. So for it, it asks for some root user privilege, or there might be some scripts. So every time writing sudo and then writing the command, I think it's for me it's hectic, right? So for that reason, what I do is I directly log into root and then use it accordingly. Okay. Okay, you're clear with this bin folder? Any question here? Any doubt?
No, I just created the password, so looks like I got root now.
Oh, you got a root?
Yeah, looks like
Oh,
it says
okay,
root at
okay,
Kelly. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Home folder. There we
okay.
go.
So the next directory, see, for bin, it contains all, executable binaries for, it's for all user. The next is your boot. Okay. Now what boot folder contains it? It contains loader files. Okay. For an example,
I'm
let's
sorry.
say,
Oh,
uh,
excuse me. Oh, can you go back to the bin one more time? What was that? You said it again. What is that used
okay.
for?
So okay, I'll write it here. Okay.
Okay,
So it
perfect.
contains binary executable. Okay. It contains binary executable and commands like ls, cp, mv. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Do this.
So yeah. So the next is your boot. So what boot contains is, it contains bootloader file. Okay. And it also contains Linux kernel. Okay. And then boot configuration files. So whatever configuration we have for booting, in the process of booting, we can we can configure it accordingly also. So whatever configuration file is needed for booting up your machine, all that files exist in this folder. Okay. So I'll
Okay.
just write here, contains bootloader files, which includes your Linux kernel and boot configuration files. So it contains bootloader files, which includes Linux kernel and boot configuration file. Now if I go back here, let me cancel it. Okay, so now if I go into directory that is boot, so you see that I am inside boot, and if I write ls here, so these are all different types of configuration file. Now for an example, let's say if I want to view this config file, so this is the configuration of that file. Okay,
You just write config or cd config.
come again.
What was the command that you have to write for
Oh,
that to get the files?
cat.
Oh, you just cat it out. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I
Cat
just use
config.
cat. Yeah, okay. So
Okay.
this is the configuration file. Okay. So is that any, I mean, is there any question?
Yeah. So why did you have to put you put some other numbers beside the configuration? You did cat config and then some numbers. What is the 6.6?
Which one?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you picked the 6.6 something.
Oh,
Just
this
change it.
one.
Yeah. Is that
I
like
mean,
the version
yeah, these are basically a
or
version
bit?
only. These are basically version only. Okay, and
Yeah.
like every time you change it, you have this different version. Okay, but
Okay.
since I have not make any changes here, and the changes is, I mean, we hardly do changes. So whatever is here, it's the existing one. Okay, and in case, for an example, if we are performing an update, uh, then things might get changed here. So if you can see here, this is the different files and the creation date of this file. Okay.
Okay. So it basically makes different version numbers
Yes.
when you boot, and it will just
Right.
copy the time and everything there.
Right. So if you can
I
see
see.
here, if you can see here, this is the time for this file, and then in May, this is, see, if you can see, you can clearly see that this is the updated version, right, of the file with the same name, but this is the updated version.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now going back, so this is the boot. Now the next is your dev. Okay. So what dev is, basically it's a device folder, and it contains device file. You know what it does, it represents the hardware devices. You have this like a disk, let's say an example, hardware devices like disks, and then we have terminals, and then we have USB. Okay, so if I say here, so let's say contains devices files, so which will represents hardware devices like disks, terminals, and USBs. So moreover, it's like a driver file. I mean, in Windows we have a driver, right? I mean, for an example, let's say if you have to, I mean, if you have to run any hardware components in a Windows operating system, you have to install that hardware, right? So the same way, it has a device, directory, and what it contains, it contains that configuration file. Uh, it also, represent hardware devices like a disk, terminal, and USB. So if I go back here, so let's say get into def file, right, ls here, you can see that these are the different types of driver files, I would say device file under the dev.
Okay.
Okay,
Now
so
is the
basically,
orange is that like an image or
no, I mean, if
I
I
know the
write,
blue is like a directory, but what is the orange?
see, these are all basically configuration file only related to it. So if I get into it, so let's do one thing. No, it's
Not
it's a
directory.
no, it's not a directory. Let's get into it. Yeah. So these are all we can. I mean, these are text file only. Basically, it's a kind of text file only. Okay.
Oh, it's a text file.
Yeah, it's a text file
Orange. Okay.
because yeah, when we use cat VGA, okay. So do you use environmental variable? Have you used environmental variable anytime in
And
Linux?
you said, do I use an
Yeah, environmental variable.
environmental variables? I don't think so. Doesn't sound
Okay,
familiar.
okay. No problem. Just wanted to understand. Anyways, we'll use that. The next is your SRV. Okay. So SRV. So SRV is it's a directory, and it contains data for service provided by the system. So like for an example, let's say there are different services in the operating system. So if we take an example of let's say FTP. So FTP is one kind of service. Let's say SSH it's one kind of service. Let's say SMB is one kind of service. So this all services which is provided by default by the system is there in SRV. Okay, so I'll just make a quick note here. So what it contains? It contains data for services provided by the system, and like web and FTP servers. Okay, so if I go here to a survey, see here I have, I think I have TFTP. Okay, travel FTP, which I have here. So there's nothing now. I mean, I have not started the service, but whatever so whatever data is services, I mean it's provided by the services in the system, it exists inside SRV5. Okay, so once once we start doing FTP pen testing or SSH pen testing or any other pen testing, we'll get that file right here. Okay, so we'll see that. Now the next is your temp. I think temp, you are aware that whatever temporary files is stored in a system, it gets into temp file. And what it happens is often, when you reboot your system or when you restart your system, that file gets deleted. That files is cleared every time you reboot it. So at times there are some temporary files which has to be stored. So temp folder is a place where this temporary files get stored, and whenever your system is restarted or rebooted, your files often gets cleared. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
any questions here?
Um,
We can write
now
here
it,
temp.
I was gonna say, is there like a particular time where it gets like deleted or no?
No, no, I
Or
mean,
does it
see,
always stays there until you actually,
uh,
clear it or what, or erase it?
now it depends. Like some of the files gets cleared, okay, often, which has
Okay.
to be cleared, and some of the files might stay. Okay, now see, you need to understand this temporary folders, because in most of the cases, when you are creating I mean, for an example, let's say you get an access of a machine. Okay, you get a let's say you get an initial foothold of a machine. Now you have access to that machine, but you don't have a privilege access. Now at times, you have to uh, transfer your scripts. Okay, now for an example, let's say you have to perform privilege escalation. Now, let's say you have a lin penis, sorry, lin piece, or you have win piece. So these are the different scripts. So now this script might not work on on different directories. So what you need to do is you need to uh, transfer that scripts into the temporary folder only. Okay.
Okay.
So it depends, like it is a kind of situational awareness, right? So I mean, if you feel, I mean, see, in my case, right, when I was preparing, so most of the time, what happened was like I was not aware that that if I transfer the file in some other directory, it will not work. I mean, it's not for all the cases, but for few. So what I mean, the suggestion I got was, start transferring the file in the temporary temp directory. So I did the same, and it's there in Windows also. It's not only in Linux, but it's there in Windows also, the temporary folder. So I mean, once you uh, transfer it, I mean, once you transfer that script in that particular folder, that means it will work for you. So I mean, I have used the temporary files for for transferring all the scripts, anything we need to execute. So all that is transferred in the temporary file once I get the initial access of that machine.
I see. Now, isn't the temporary folder, isn't it hidden normally, where you have
uh
to go
no, I
to a
think
certain way to get
no,
to it, or
see,
no?
I haven't seen, but let me see.
Okay.
Mm, just a second, I'll locate. Where it is, let me see. PWD. See, see, this is the temp file, and it is hidden, right? Most of the time, it is hidden.
Okay.
It's
Just
under root only. It's, if you see here, it's under root only, right?
so a
Yeah, it's
regular
on.
user won't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But what you can
Okay.
do is you can write ls-al, okay, for listing all the files and directories, and then you have this temp directory right here.
Okay.
Okay. Wait just a second. Okay, okay, okay. So I'll tell you one more catch here. Uh, so there is a reference here. Okay, there
Okay.
is a difference here. Now, if you are moving, see, this is the core root directory where it has bin, dev, home, everything. Okay, so if you let's say, see, this is my, this is my, directory here. Now see, there are two different commands in Linux. I mean, two different symbols here, if you noticed.
Yeah.
Both are of root directory only, but there are two different symbols. Now this symbol, let's say, this is right above your tab. Okay, this one. So if you want to get into temp folder, just write cd and one slash. Okay, so this
Okay.
will navigate you to the core root directory. I mean, root directory, I would say. See,
Uh,
okay. Now, if you want to come back to the user, like whatever you're using, so cd that sign, I mean that symbol, press enter, and then ls, you're back to downloads desktop folders. So
and
just
what is
make it.
that one? What is the squiggly line one? Is that
Uh,
for just like a standard directory,
yeah,
or
it's for, so see, it's for representing the home directory of the
what
current
is for
user.
home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so it is representing the current this is what okay, tilde symbol, we call it tilde. Okay, this is
Yeah.
tilde symbol, and what it does, it represents, the home directory of a current user.
Okay.
Okay, now and mm, and then this will represent the root directory. So one forward slash enter. So this will represent the root directory.
ls.
Okay. Any questions? Any doubt?
Let me see. I don't think we're good.
Okay.
I was just trying to see because that makes sense about the root directory. I guess you're gonna have more visibility for more different files, correct? Versus if you were in the regular home folder.
Yes.
Yeah,
So in regular home folder, whatever files or whatever scripts or anything you're downloading, it goes to your
yeah,
home folder. Yeah, it goes to your home folder, right?
right.
But this root directory contains all this root directory contains all important files and folders which has to be under it. Okay, I was we were speaking about dev folder, we were speaking about root folder. I mean, we were also seeing about srb folder, boot folder. So these all are here inside this directory on. Okay.
Okay. And then the temp is the only it can only be in the root folder,
no
right?
no it's
Or
it's
can it
it's
also be
no,
in
no.
any?
Yeah, see, it's not mandate. Like, see, in case, for an example, let's say you don't get a temp folder. Okay. I mean, usually when I started, I did not get it, right? So what I used to do in Windows operating system, I used to create my own.
Okay.
Okay, I used to create my own. Although it was not possible to create under C drive, but what I used to do was I used to get into any folder like downloads folder, set desktop folder, and I used to create one TMP file or TMP folder. So even you can do that, but since we know, see, I'll tell you one more thing here. One interesting thing here is once you get an access, initial access of a machine, till the time you don't have a root privilege, you won't be getting access of these folders, files and folders. Getting my point?
So you're saying once you have root, you won't have access to those? Is that what you said?
No, no,
Or
you
no?
don't have. Yeah, you don't have access to this.
Okay. But you have to have
Okay.
roots, correct,
Yeah,
to have that.
yeah, right.
Okay.
So,
Right.
in case in case, for an example, let's say, I mean, there can be this kind of cases where you can come across. So for an example, let's say you're trying to you're trying to download a file inside downloads. Okay, downloads folder, or let's say desktop folder, and after you see that the file is not getting downloaded. Okay, so
Okay.
the second option for you will be, you can create a temp user. I mean, you can use a temp folder. You can create one temp folder, just simply writing, let's say, just simply writing cd, okay, mkdir temp.
Okay. Make a direct.
Okay, so you can just create a temp folder. Okay, and then you can start uh, you know uh, transferring or downloading the files inside the temp folder. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I would say, I mean, usually you get to see a temp, but let's see. I mean, we'll execute this case also when we will start the pen testing. Okay,
Okay.
just make a note of this also,
Okay.
that we will see. Okay, temporary files, and then it's often cleared on reboot. Now the
Oh, really?
next, yeah, on reboot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll reboot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the next and very important one is your user. Okay. So a user folder will contain the utilities, what the user has, and all the applications. Okay. And for an example, let's say we go back here, clear the screen, and then let's write cd user. And if I write ls here, so these are all, I would say these are all utilities and applications. Okay, which can be used by that user. Now for an example, let's say I want to use, you might have, I mean, do you use nmap scripts?
Uh, yes. Yes.
Okay, and do you know the location of nmap script?
It used to be under what, scripts.py. I guess if you want
Yes.
to do a Python. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So it's under CD user share nmap scripts. So this
Oh,
is, I
okay.
mean, yeah, this is from where the nmap uses its scripts. Now, see, I mean, when we execute some of the nmap commands, so let's say nmap hyphen a or hyphen s capital C, and then we execute it. But at times we have to use a script. We have to give nmap an argument. So from where the nmap takes the scripts. So the nmap takes the script from this particular folder cd user share nmap scripts. So if you press enter, you're right into nmap scripts. And if I write here ls, you'll get to see all the nmap scripts.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So this is where this is inside user utilities and application. So if you see here, it's under user, and user will have another user has another directory which is share, and inside share that is nmap and then scripts. So these are all application and utilities which is accessible to that particular user. So since I am a root, I have access to everything. Okay,
Gotcha.
so this might be limited, this might be limited for other user. So if you want to see, let's say sudo to john. Okay, and then see, even John has it. So let's say nmap. Yeah. So nmap, I think it's available for John also because John might have that level of permission. Okay. So to restrict this, to restrict him from accessing nmap or any other utilities, we have to manually configure it. Okay. So let me clear the screen. Let's go back to root. Okay. So this user uh, contains will contains user utilities and applications. Okay, so the next is your var. Okay, and var contains variables. Just ignore my spelling.
I remember
Okay,
the bar. That's
yeah,
one has a bar log, right?
yeah, var log, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
usually,
remember those.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually log files are stored in the var. Uh, So
Okay.
usually logs files are stored in the variable folder. So contains variable data files. So all variable data files will get contained here in the var file. So let's say I'll give you an example of var file, var log. Okay, so now if I go back here and then if I write here cd and then var, so we are into var folder. If I write ls here, now you can see here the backup, cache, library, local, log, everything is stored in the var. Okay, so let's see if I get into even the temp folder. See, these are all variables. This all changed very frequently, right? I mean, see, log will not have the same log every time. Every time when you reboot your system, the log file will get changed. Backup folder, every time you reboot your system, your backup folder will be changed. Cache, I mean, whatever cache you have, so you have there in your system will be stored here, and that is not a static. Okay, it's a dynamic process. So whatever variable I mean, whatever variable is there, var is there, it will store here only. Even the library, local, log, mail, op, opt, runs, poll, everything will be stored here. So if I take an example of a log file, so if you can see here, now at times, just a second, it's not a directory, cat log. No, it's a directory. Why it's not happening? Cd log. Oh, sorry. Okay, so if you see here, this is the log file. Okay, this is the log file. This is the boot log 1, boot log 2, and then this is dpkg, where we have to install in Linux. We use dpkg to install application. So these are all different log files if you see here. This is basically, this is basically used when you have to see all the logs file. Not only log files, but there are different backup files or library files. In case if you have to audit or if you have to see, then you can just go through it. Okay. So this is the var file. Now, these are all, important, I would say, directories, which you need to understand. And you can do little, you can do more research on it if you want, but this is a very basic one. Basic understanding about all these different directories under Linux. Okay. So any questions you have for me before we proceed?
Um, I think that's pretty straightforward. So
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm. So no questions, right?
yeah, no question.
Okay, let me clear my screen and then come back. Okay, now the next thing is, when you when you go for an exam, when you are performing or when, okay, let's say you're performing some testing, and it requires an update or upgrade. Okay, now there are so, see, Kali comes with their update every time. Most of the time you'll find an update, and then it will say you to upgrade your system also. So how do you do it? Like for an example, let's say you have installed the operating system for the first time, and you're trying to install some applications, or I would say some tools, but there is a dependency or there is a roadblock to install it because some of the tools might be missing. See, the configuration part takes a lot of time. Okay, I mean, this is where you stuck completely. I'll give you an example. Recently I was trying to evade an antivirus, and I was using a tool called Nimcrypt. Okay, I was using this tool Nimcrypt to, just a second. I was using this tool called Nimcrypt. Okay, so if you go to GitHub, also you'll get this tool called Nimcrypt. So Nimcrypt is basically a tool which will help you to, uh, which will encrypt your payload.
Okay.
So Nimcrypt 2 is yet another payload packet designed to bypass AV Okay, so I was trying to install it. So the installation process, has mentioned in GitHub, is pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, but now see, first we need to write sudo apt install so and so, and then all these different commands. But at times, because of the dependency issues, you'll have a very hard time installing it, because some of the files or some of the packages which is required by this tool to operate will be missing. So please make a habit of, at least, please make a habit of updating your system at a regular interval. Okay, I would say, let's say, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, simply write sudo apt update. Okay, and then this will automatically update your system. Okay, so this is one thing which you need to do. Okay, so even I have not updated, yeah, even I have not updated for quite now. See, what it will
Okay.
do is, it will add on, it will add on to your existing operating system only. Okay,
Okay.
so updating will not, you'll not lose any file. Okay, now see here, now it says that 364 packages can be upgraded. Okay, so now there are 364 packages which Linux has released, and this can be updated, upgraded. Okay, so if I'll write here apt list, now which all package which we can upgrade, apt list hyphen hyphen upgradable, and enter. So these are all different packages which we can upgrade.
Okay.
See, okay, now let's write here sudo apt upgrade. So this will start upgrading everything. Okay,
How
but
do you
yes,
how do you upgrade to everything? So
just you just
uh,
need to write,
is it
sudo apt
FTP
upgrade.
or just upgrade? Okay. Okay. Got it. Continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the good thing is, like, what it will do is, see, it will also remove the packages which is not required. So in my case, if you see here, the following packages were automatically installed and are no longer required. So use sudo apt auto remove to remove them. Okay. So what I'll do is you'll have this command coming up. So we'll just use this command later on just to remove this. And what are upgrading? This all are upgrading. This all different packages are getting updated. So you have this packages list right here. Okay. So it's gonna take some time. Uh,
Okay.
depending on your internet speed, and then you know this will upgrade everything. Okay, and we can manually remove I mean we can manually remove also. If you want, you can automatically remove everything. See, it's extracting all the templates from the packages, and then it is getting upgraded. Okay, so any other questions you have here?
Let's see. So can you kind of repeat what you said with the NIM crypto or NIM crypto tool is for?
Yes, no, no. I mean, see, I was giving an example of Nimcrypt,
Oh,
right?
oh,
I
okay,
was giving an example where for I mean, it's not only with Nimcrypt, but it can be with different tools in GitHub. So, for an example, let's say you're trying to uh, you are trying to run that tool, okay? So there at times you will come across dependency issues where you might be needing another packages to run that to run that scripts or to run that tool. So I mean, just upgrade it. Okay, just upgrade it every time you are going for a uh, new tool or script. If in case if it is giving any kind of error, okay. So but see, manually also you have to do it manually. Sometimes you have to get that tool from different platform, and then you have to execute it in your operating system. Okay. So for time being, I mean, for time being, just keep your Kali isolated in the sense, don't mix up your Kali with your with your what we say. Okay, which I mean, which system you use for your office work? I mean, is there another laptop or the same laptop you're using?
at home, it's like desktop, but I
Okay, you
have
have.
a Mac laptop too.
Okay, okay,
So,
okay. So use that one only because see, I mean, we never know, right? I mean, we will be trying different stuff, so sometimes it may get crash also. And then there is one more thing: take a snapshot of the machine every time. I mean, just do it for every
okay,
yeah, just take a snapshot. I mean, in VirtualBox also there is a feature of snapshot, right?
okay,
So take that snapshot. Like if you have installed it, just take that snapshot so that in case if we come across I mean, in case if it gets corrupted also, then we can always reinstall or reboot it. Okay.
reboot it. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you do a snapshot where you just do highlight or control A or
uh,
something?
oh, no, no, no. See, it's for VirtualBox. I'm using VMware. So
Mhm.
if you go somewhere here to VM, you'll get snapshot here. See,
Oh, okay, that's easy.
so just you need to take a
Read
snapshot.
it.
And I think for VirtualBox is also the same. Just a second, let me find out. I have VirtualBox or not? I'm not sure. Yeah, I have it. Okay. Let me
Okay,
open it up. I'll just show it to you how we can take a snapshot.
yeah,
Okay, so network machine file. I don't have any operating system installed in this Oracle VirtualBox, so
oh, okay.
you'll get it somewhere here. Okay, just let me see. Snap snapshot for VirtualBox.
Yeah, because mine is running now. I'm going to upgrade as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's still running.
Okay, I'm sending you one link here.
Okay,
Snapshot. Okay, so you'll I mean, it will be easy for you. So it is a document from Oracle only. a website. So I'm just sending you right here in the chat. Just go
Okay.
through it. You'll get the snapshot feature here only.
Okay.
Okay, you can just copy it. Yeah. All right. So before we wind up for today, uh, so you have any other questions, any doubt, anything you want to share, ask?
What's your ask? I would just say, yeah, this is definitely great, by the way. So I do appreciate helping with this. Um, I would probably say, um, is there like a syllabus of things that you're going to be teaching me, or what things I'm going to learn? Through the course of the 45 hours,
Uh, I
or
did.
uh,
What was
I
that?
would just,
Can you?
I would just saying, is there going to be like a course syllabus?
Yes,
Or
there will be. Yeah, there will be
okay,
course syllabus. Now, see, the added advantage here is that since you already said that you know the basic commands and all. So I did not go through that basic command. Instead, I went to this directory. Okay. Now there will be
okay,
complete course. So what are the topics which we will be covering? I will give it to you by tomorrow. Okay, I have it.
okay,
So
okay,
I'll just bifurcate it, list down everything whatever we're going to do for the entire for this entire series. Okay, so
okay.
I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay, and then accordingly we'll work. And then please make sure to to install this three different operating system on your
Oh, yes,
virtual machine.
yes,
Okay.
okay. And is there any recommendation you'll recommend when installing those? Like, because I
Mm,
know you mentioned about root. I think that's probably more for Linux since these are Windows based.
okay.
But any other? I mean, I can just follow like some of the forms, and I know I need like a
Uh, okay.
ISO file.
Okay. Just a second. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just anything I need to make sure I'm installing when I do these.
Okay. Let me just a second. I'm
Okay,
just going to see. The installation process is very simple, right? So you
okay,
just need to install it. That's it. Now, don't
good.
do
Okay,
anything with it because the configuration part we will configure it.
okay. So
Okay.
just
You
install
just
it on the computer.
yeah
Okay.
just install it. Configuration I'll
Yeah.
do it for you
Okay.
tomorrow.
So just the image
Okay.
file. Okay.
Yeah. The
That's
just
it.
the image file.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So any other questions before we wind up for today?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So just go through that. I mean, just go through the Linux today. I mean, if you can, if you have a chance to go through this again, and
Okay.
the next thing is start, downloading and installing this, so that later in the class we will do the configuration. Okay.
Okay. Okay.